Good night, good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. How are you? Oh, ah. Hi, Vivek. How are you? Onolpat. Ah, nice to see you. Excuse me, I'm half naked at the moment. How are you? Fine? Here I am. Here I am now. G'day, Cobber. How you going? All right, Cobber? Cobber? Friend? That's all right. I'm just getting ready now for Universal Television, hey? Ah, ah, back to the office again. Back to the office. Another night in the office, huh? Ah. Whew. Wow. Yeah, my old friend. Hey, how many more nights staying here on international TV, hey? Well, I'm just putting my makeup on, okay? Here we go. Ah. Ah, there we go. Put on the blue jacket. Comb the hair. Put the socks on. Hey. Ah. Wow, wow, wow. Oh. Here we go. We're nearly ready now for. Well, here we go. Already there. Get the hot water ready. Where's the hot water? Ah. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. This is Mountain David transmitting to the four corners of the planet from central Nepal. Here we are. Let's get organized here. Oh, there we go. Oh. Ah, now we're ready. Now we're ready. Oh, wow. The Vivek on all pot. On all pot. Pot. Lot pot. There we go. There we go. Nice and rainy at this time today. Well, with a family like you, with a family like you, with a family like you, who needs a wife and kids? With a family like you, who needs a wife and kids and mother-in-law, father-in-law, dogs and cats, cows and buffaloes? I have a family here, right in front of me on screen. Nice and tidy, all on the screen together. A small area. And it's costing me nothing to maintain my lovely YouTube family. Namaste, Dhanyavad. Wow, wow. Yes, Vivek, to answer your question, Pat has answered your question there. Much cheaper to live. Now that black hat, the black hat, saying you've heard that Russia is positioning tactical missiles near the European border in Belarus. Things are becoming ugly day by day. Yes, that's right, Vivek. Things are becoming for the Russians. The Russians is about the security of their long borders. They feel very much under threat from NATO, America lurking behind, you know. Thanks, Rakshit. Thank you. Wow, wow, wow. It is pinned. Thanks, Rakshit. Wow, wow, wow. Rajendra Purohit. Rajendra Purohit. Namaste, Rajendra. Aap kaise ho? Sab theek thak hai? Yeah, oh, that's better. Aap kahan ho, Rajendra? Uttarakhand mein? Shabash, namaste, Rajendra. Kuch samay tak rahiye hamari live stream par. Shabash. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. Yes, it's a miracle. It's a miracle after all these decades that Vladimir Putin wasn't assassinated yet. A real miracle, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. Or if you feel free to, will send an immediate like to this live stream. Thanks, Rajendra. Are you coming back sometime to our stream, or is this your time tonight? Let me know, please. Yeah, we're so far successfully transmitting the magic medium of Wi-Fi. Good. Having a little drop of rain. On a serious note, what everybody around the world has heard of the sudden tragedy, disaster here in Nepal at the feet of the Himalayas, northwest of Kathmandu, Nepali Himalayas, in the district of Rasuwa. And don't forget on the over the border, on the Tibetan China side also, they've had a very bad tragedy, all related. They said that about 10:30 a.m. yesterday morning, Wednesday, there was a very small minor earthquake, just 2.5 on the Richter scale. Triggered off a big glacier to fall into the lake below it. That pushed out millions of tons of river water out down. It went all downstream there. As usual, China are keeping more quiet about the extent of damage. Vivek saying that Vladimir Putin is 3 years younger than me. How do I look younger? Probably I don't suffer the tension that Putin suffered all these years in power. All those pictures of Vladimir Vivek, actually, he looks like an old bear now. He looks like an old bear, a grizzly bear. Vivek says, lakes don't fill up in one day. What's your opinion? Well, it seems the lake was already filled up. It was already full, just waiting for that disaster. The small earthquake occurred, but serious enough to dislodge the glacier. The glacier, or part of the glacier, fell into the lake, dislodged millions and millions of litres of lake water, and it pushed it downriver. I don't know if prior warning was possible, Vivek. Now, Abhishek Kumar. Hi, Abhishek Kumar. Namaste. From Kathmandu. Terrible, terrible disaster, Abhishek. We can't use any words to describe it. The pictures on TV and social media of this Rasul disaster are horrific. Horrific. Big buildings and trucks and buses swept away just like cardboard. Abhishek, what's the current report? Was it started by a local small earthquake which pushed the glacier to the lake? What's the current story of it, Vivek? Abhishek from Kathmandu. Namaste. Kosto Hunu Huncha Tapai. Vivek says sharing of hydrological reports has been stopped after the Oli regime. Yeah, I don't know about that, Vivek. Don't know about that. Already 4 likes have come to the channel, 4 likes. Thanks, and please remember, just tap your screen 2 times to send another like to this channel. Each live stream 1 like, of course. We're just waiting for our star performer, the star performer of the last 8 nights, waiting for him or her to come back onto the live stream with those continuous. I'm being bullied by the streamer. Eh? I'm being continuously bullied by the streamer. Eh? We're just waiting for those continuous messages to come back from the personality disordered star performer on the current live stream here. The personality disordered performer, yeah? Now, so any new Any new YouTube IDs, be suspicious. Maybe this is we call in Australia PD, personality disorder. When the PD returns, he or she will come back under a new ID, okay? So put your radar up, and very soon the messages will come through. David, when did you start bullying people? David, how long have you been bullying people on your live stream? They'll send one or two nice messages, how are you? And then on the third message, the personality disordered messages will start to flow. All right? So just look out for any new IDs. Paul Alexander Hernandez. Paul Alexander Hernandez. Is that Paul or Paulo? Nice to see your new name on the your new ID there, Paul Alexander. How are you? ¿Cómo está la vida loca? ¿Cómo está la vida loca? ¿Está bien? Wow, wow, wow. Nice to see your new name. New name, Paul. Where are you located? Which place? Now, Abhishek is saying from Nepal, Kathmandu, today the water level of the Gandak River is rising. The flood has not reached Bihar yet, but the danger still remains. Yes, yes. And there are so many glaciers, aren't there, in the Himalayas? Vivek says sea level well south of the Himalayas. The water is spread over a large area, so the ill effect of flash floods is diluted, Abhishek, yes. Vivek says, so in Bihar, by God's grace, the water will flow quietly, yeah. Abhishek Kumar, from Bihar. I see, Abhishek Kumar from Bihar. Excuse me, Abhishek. The Kathmandu Abhishek is Abhishek Bishta. Excuse me, that's it. Alongside that river, what is it? The Kosi River, is it? Water has increased in the fields, but there has been no disaster yet. Good, good, good. Bihari Abhishek. Nice to see your new ID on the screen, Paul Alexander Hernandez. Where is your location? Rajendra Purohit. Coming and going very quick to the live stream. Yeah, we're having a nice drop of rain early tonight. That's nice. If you want to see my short story, have a look at the pinned message on the bottom of your screen, okay? I call myself Pahadi David, Mountain David. In the Himalayas here, Pahari means mountain. And coming and going over many decades from Sydney, I've spent long times living in the Himalayas here, Nepal and especially India. I was born in England, left England. We put Britain well behind us. When we left Britain at 11, we put Britain well behind us. Of all my family, my big sister, eldest sister, returned there for some years. And my other sister, Helen, also, yeah. My mother, stepfather, father, and myself, we never ever returned. Yeah, this room is nice. Room. It's a small room. I like a small room. That's the bathroom and toilet there. Um, um, very comfortable. Very comfortable. Very nice. Very nice. Just perfect for one or two people. One or two people. This is the village of Daman, D-A-M-A-N, at 8,000 feet, up in the central Nepali Himalayas. The north, 78 kilometers by road, is Kathmandu, and to the south, about 120 kilometers, is the Nepal-Bihar-India border. I see, Abhishek, regarding the direct connection with this terrible Nepali tragedy. In Bihar, Champaran district is usually the first area in Bihar to be affected by floods. People have been evacuated from the flood-prone areas. Something is likely to happen by tomorrow, yes. Acha, Abhishek, or Lalu Kaka Kaswasta Kaisa Hai Lalu. Teek Hai. Lalu Yadav, hai? Tub Tuck. Samosa ma alu rahega मैं भी रहूंगा देखो लाओ मैं भी रहूंगा तब तक समोसा में आलू रहेगा लालू यादव रहेगा जरूर रहेगा कितनी साल रह गई hey? Now we're going off to a slow start tonight. Slow start. Let's see how many people come tonight. Thursday, August 27, isn't it? Yes, that's right. Let's see what happens, huh? Yes, Abhishek Lalu's time is gone, has gone. That was a very dark period, those 8 or 10 years with Gundaraj. Yes. People were afraid, weren't they? Night time. Abhishek, how? Now this is ancient history, but how did Lalu Yadav manage to survive as CM for so many years with the Gundaraj flourishing in power in Bihar? How did he manage to stay in power for so long? Why wasn't he removed by the central government there, president's rule? This is a mystery to many, many observers. Well, the rain's just finishing now. It's nice and fresh after that. Michelle Durand. Hi, Michelle. Now here's another new name. A new name on Mountain David's live stream. We've been here for about 10 months now, Michelle Durand. Where are you, Michelle Durand? Where's your location? You like this turban, do you? Yeah, Michelle, if you look at my video blogs of the last few years, then I'm often wearing this. This is my signature headwear, you know. Nice to see you, Michelle. Thank you. Thanks for coming, and Himalayan greeting, namaste and swagatam. Welcome to you, Michelle. Yes, Abhishek, he was definitely the the gang leader, wasn't he, of that Gundaraj. The crime rate was very high at that time. I mean, he was the CM, wasn't he? He was obviously the head Gunda. Mm. Anyhow, they say there's been some good improvements with Nitish Kumar there. Abhishek, can I ask you a question there, just as an observer? Um, since Nitish came into power, on a local level, on a grassroots level in your Bihar state in India, how are things now compared with the incredible mismanagement of funds before on a local level, the Gram Pradhans, whew, BDO, CDO, VDO, huge corruption of government funds. How is all that now compared with Lalu's time? On the grassroots level, how is it now? Yes, Abhishek. Abhishek's giving a very direct and honest reply here. Abhishek from Bihar. There was a lot of caste-based discrimination in Bihar in the past and today. And listen to this. If this is 2026, right? No matter how educated people become, many still vote based on caste. Yeah. As outsiders, we observers from outside India, know how much the caste system has been in India over, I don't know, hundreds of years, how important it is. But why is it? I give you the punchline question, Abhishek. Why is it that even today, even amongst educated people, many still vote in elections based on caste, supporting their own caste? Why will they continue to vote for caste even though that politician's character will be corrupt or very, very corrupt? This is a mystery to outsiders that many educated people will still vote caste-wise and voting in a politician who will make big decisions, who will have a lot of power, who will control a lot of funds. How come they still insist on voting on caste rather than if the politician is a good, clean human being or is a dirty, pig, corrupt human being? How is that possible, even when people are educated? And obviously, there is corruption all around the world, Abhishek, all around the world there's corruption. But in some cultures, it is more endemic than others, right? Hi, Michelle. Yeah, have a nice day to you, Michelle, also. And where are you? Where's your location, Michelle, if you'd like to tell us? People are still keeping their radars up on this live stream, waiting for the victim to return tonight. The victim will 100% be back tonight. I can guarantee you. The victim will definitely come back tonight, complaining of being bullied. I am the victim. Just waiting now. Usually the victim reveals their identity by the third text. I see now. Abhishek from Bihar, India continues to give a very honest, accurate report. When Nitish Kumar's government came to power, Bihar improved somewhat, a little. Crime decreased to some extent, but there was not much development, I see. The politicians are too busy developing themselves, aren't they? Hmm? Aye. Oh, that's okay, Michelle. You're busy. That's all right. Okay. Please come back again, Michelle Durand, yeah? Politicians know that they will get votes from people of their own caste anyway. So they take advantage of this and whatever they want. Yes. It's a real cancer, isn't it? A real, real widespread cancer. That system. Mm. Okay, Michelle has to leave. Okay, Michelle, thanks for coming. See you next time. Yes, please come back. Thank you. Yes. If anybody on this live stream is learning English from me, please, or learning English from the messages also, please look at my 15 self-produced English learning videos. You can see on this channel under Pahadi David, and you may appreciate it to improve your English by looking at my 15 English learning videos, which are expressed in English and especially in Devanagari English system, using the Devanagari system, the Devanagari script, which you Hindi speakers, you Nepali language speakers, and speakers of um, Devanagari script users who speak in Indian mountain languages, like in Uttarakhand, you know? Okay, Abhishek, it's getting dark, so you'll light an evening, dear, little lamp in front of God. All right, Puja, and thanks for coming, Abhishek. Thank you, thank you. Good, good, good. And remember, everybody, you lovely viewers, this on this live stream we discuss absolutely all subjects. We discuss all subjects without fear. I'm not afraid to discuss anything, but we must always put a limit where we don't get into friction with another viewer, where we over criticize them or start to question their character or anything like that. Yeah. One subject which I like to talk about, but some people are afraid to talk about, and that is, why does a certain very populous section of humanity insist on producing huge, huge families, even though the number one need now of the planet to control our population, So many problems in humanity come directly from the mega population. But would you like to discuss this openly and without fear? Huh? Let's challenge those people from a certain very, very populous, widespread ideology, some of whom continue on an almost, well, it is an antisocial level to produce huge families. Who's challenging them? I see, Abhishek, I heard about the CM of Bihar. Um, is there no doubt that he was involved in that murder case? Is there no doubt? I mean, was this politician, was he convicted in a court of law for that murder and rape case? Is there absolutely no doubt that he committed that crime? Yeah, I know I'm putting you on the spot there, but yes, it's truly unfortunate for your country, India, that a person with such serious allegations against him has become the top man in your state. Mm. Was it proved in an honest court of law, without doubt, that he was responsible? BBC Stick. BBC Stick. Another new YouTube ID on our screen. Hi there, BBC Stick. Um, I'm Mountain David, Pahadi David. I've lived half of my lifetime coming and going from Sydney in the Himalayas. Um, well, everybody's heard about it. Um, is it due to missing infrastructure? Was it because of, apparently, BBC, there was a small minor earthquake in that area just before the tragedy. A small but very significant 2.5 on the Richter scale earthquake. And apparently it caused a mountain glacier to break into a lake. And that pushed an unlimited amount of tons of water downstream. BBC Stick. Look at BBC Stick's message. BBC Stick. That's another new YouTube ID, BBC Stick. BBC Stick. Very strange message here. A very strange, ironic message saying, was this terrible tragedy in which several thousand people have lost their lives, was it maybe an inside job? That's a very, very strange message, BBC. Anyhow, we're waiting for your next message. Waiting for your next message. Abhishek says, money and political, this is another matter, money and political power helped everyone escape accountability in this case. Lalu Yadav's brother-in-law was reportedly the main accused. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Oof. BBC Stick, I'm not sure where you're coming from. Um, you've sent a very, very strange message, BBC Stick. Are you using now another new YouTube ID? Anyhow, hi Danish, namaste Danish, namaste. Yes, thank you. I'm living about 200 kilometers away from the source of that terrible disaster in Nepal. I'm safe, thanks Danish, yes. Hi Vivek, thanks for coming back. Vivek, look at the message above yours. Look at the message there about was it an inside job? Um, Anyhow, the personality disordered viewer who we're suffering since 8 days will definitely be back again tonight. Maybe has already returned. I see BBC Stick. You're new to this YouTube stuff, are you? You're new to it, are you? Completely new? First time? Your grandkids say you're too old, but I wanted to try. All right then. Okay, we're just waiting for your next messages. Danish says, God bless you and people all around the world. Thanks, Danish, for your lovely greetings. Thank you. Those pictures of that Nepali flash flood tragedy are just unbelievable. Big houses, buses, trucks, and people swept away. This is the power of nature. Yeah, this is the power of nature. And the Himalayas and big mountains around the world. There are hundreds and hundreds of glaciers all around the planet. Vivek says, David, as per your experience, can we eat salads for dinner? Isn't it much more bloating? BBC, about 200 kilometres away from the source of the disaster. Oh, Nightingale, you lost this channel for a few minutes, probably your internet, yeah? Hi, Anita, namaste, orki, harin ajkal, Anita ju, tumur tabiat kos haroti ju. I never eat an evening meal, Vivek. Since decades, I don't eat an evening meal. I finish my eating by 4 p.m., so I don't have direct experience of eating a salad. In your hot climate, salads certainly cool the stomach down, don't they? Beautifully. I don't really know from experience, Vivek. Oh, now here's a very sensible message from BBC Stick. Nepal floods, very similar to 9/11 in my opinion. Very strange. Not sure yet of the causes, BBC, and so unfortunate for the victims. Phew. Thanks, Anita. Yeah, you have my blessings there as a senior citizen to you. Yes, and I had a nice day today, and as you know, I'm a bit of a stomach person, and I had a very nice meal in the Gauri Shankar restaurant there. Pooja, she's about she runs a restaurant there with her husband in the Gauri Shankar Hotel and Lodge. Cooked another very consistent. Her level of masala, chili, everything never changes. It's always right in the middle. Never too much, not too less. And she cooks some cook some, the usual, had some Karela, bitter gourd, Karela, with some nice crisp chips. I love crisp chips. I don't like soft chips. Chips must be crisp. They must be. And some nice dal, some pigeon pea dal, arahar ki dal, and some Nepali khichdi cooked with butter as usual. I ate a lot of khichdi from yellow dal, and some salad also. White radish, the king of the digestion, yeah. And I ate a big amount of food. That all cost me, no eggs today, no eggs were available. And that all cost me, in your Indian rupees, Anita, about 210 Indian rupees. Food is not cheap these days, is it? No. BBC Stick says, what is the typical Australian food, popular food? Vivek says on YouTube video, they say that salads should be avoided at night time. That's probably more in a cold climate at night. In a cold climate at night, in winter time, Vivek. I believe in personal experimentation. Just try it or just keep eating. I have heard definitely that in a cold climate at night in winter season, white radish, mooli, should be avoided. It may cause excess mucus and it may affect the throat for the next 2 days. Vivek? That's right, Vivek. Food is always more expensive when we eat in public. That's right. That's it. To cover the restaurant's overhead expenses, yeah? Paying the staff. BBC Stick, a typical Australian food. 50% at least of Australians eat meat. 50-60% of Australians eat meat, I suppose. Beef, yeah, cow meat, beef. Different culture, different customs. Live and let live. Beef, chicken, pork, fish, mutton, lamb, young sheep, lamb. Rice is very popular. Unfortunately, white rice, the inferior quality of rice, is very popular in Australia. Salads, vegetables, fruit, like that, yeah. In Australia, every day from all sides outside of Australia, we get fresh veggies and fruit. So almost every day you can eat regularly. Outside of the Australian season, you can eat all sorts of foods, fruits, veggies, like that, you know. BBC Stick says, salad at night is not okay. There have even been death reports in Southeast Asia from people eating salads. People have died. Whew. Nightingale says lamb is the most expensive meat in Australia these days. That's expensive. Lamb is young sheep up until about a year and a half, 2 years of age. Very soft and very tender. I used to eat a lot of lamb before. When I was a meat eater, I used to eat a lot of lamb in Australia. I loved it every second day. Easy to digest, very tasty, soft, tender. Hi, Kuldeep. How are you, Kuldeep? Auntie, please do sports. There's no auntie on this channel, Kuldeep. There's no auntie here. Thanks for coming, Kuldeep. You're coming back again on this live stream, are you? BBC lamb is his or her very most favourite meat. You feel very energetic after eating it. Good, yes. Kuldeep, you can call me Uncle if you like, Uncle. Please do sports. Thanks for the advice, Kuldeep. I'll see what I can do at 76 years of age, all right? Yes. All right. And please remember, especially new viewers, if you choose, you can tap twice, 2 times on the screen to send a like. And please subscribe also. Our subscriber level has been static. It's been the same since many weeks. We're still under 4,000 subscribers. Subscribers. We need more subscribers, please. Yes, BBC Stick. I'm BBC Stick. I'm now 76 years of age. Nightingale, I see. This is serious, is it? People do die from eating salads. Not washing the salad items properly, I suppose. Yeah. I believe that lettuce is a high risk item in salads. Lettuce is very difficult to clean properly, yes? Hi, Puran. Namaste, Puran. Thanks for coming back. Look, Puran, the whole of Nepal and around the world also, the whole of Nepal, all Nepali people and guests, visitors are in a state of extreme shock about that sudden, horrific tragedy yesterday. Well, it's going to be a long process to clean up, reorganize, and rebuild the infrastructure. I saw pictures also of on the Tibet Chinese side also, where apparently they suffered. There was a big tourist town there in the mountains, Chinese side. The name begins with letter G or something, where big buses, houses were just swept away like cardboard boxes. Poor, it was just horrific to watch. And of course, dozens and hundreds of people. Terrible. They say, Puran, that in that immediate area, just before 10:30 in the morning yesterday, there was a comparatively local earthquake, just 2.5 on the Richter scale, but enough to dislodge a Himalayan glacier into a big lake, and that pushed millions and millions of litres of mountain water downstream. This here, BBC Stick. BBC Sick, who says they're from Vietnam, who says they're from dying from salads. I mean, normally a human being just away from a salad. There'd be a few days of extreme gastroenteritis, as you say, Vivek, amoebas, or Giardia is a nasty one too, isn't it? BB6 Sticks asking me, David, looking forward, are you worried that another natural disaster will hit where you are currently located? I'm thinking about that, BBC Stick. I mean, I'm thinking about your message. Yeah. You can read what BBC Stick says. About well, you can read BBC Stick's message about a person dying the same night suddenly from salad. It's an interesting message, isn't it? BBC Stick says, apparently from Vietnam, says we also have problems with rabies in Vietnam. Is that common? Yes, it is. It is common. Vivek says, in India we eat cucumber, tomato, onion, radish, carrots 99% of the time. We only understand them as salads. That's right. That's right. Ah. Yeah, we do get some interesting messages on this live stream. Very interesting messages. I find a salad very useful because it cools the stomach down, doesn't it? I like a medium amount of spices, a medium amount, chili 30%, all other spices I can eat, all other spices. And the salad absorbs the heat from the spices, yeah? Radish, white radish, of course, the king of digestives, the king. White radish will digest all other foodstuffs which you put into your stomach, including heavier meat and stuff like that. And they say radish is very, very good for the blood and the liver. Is that right, Vivek? BBC, I believe in recent years, cases of rabies are less now than they used to be in South Asia. Abhishek says he did his evening prayer there in front of God, as he puts it, and that's finished. Very nice, Abhishek. Appreciation is a very important thing in this life, isn't it, Abhishek? Appreciation. Appreciation. If you think now of the terrible complications after a major disaster, it affects directly the people who died or were injured, and it affects hundreds and thousands of people connected with them, their family, friends, work colleagues, neighbours. The complications of a disaster cannot be measured, you know. That's right, Nightingale's talking about not eating veggies and salads properly. Vivek, what other things do Western people have in salads, David? Nightingale. Filipino and Australian especially, yeah? You know very well, I left the West 24 years ago. Tell me these days, Nightingale, year round, what are the various items available for you to eat in Australia in salads? BBC Stick says, is there no way to cure rabies? Rabies is present in other animals too, isn't it? Like monkeys sometimes biting humans. Um, is there no way to cure rabies? I suppose remove or vaccinate the animals which carry rabies, I suppose. Oh, we also like in salads. One of my favourite vegetables in salad or cooked veggie is spring onion. Vivek, spring onion. Pat, is that shallots you mentioned to me the other day about shallots in English? We're talking in English, right? Shallot and spring onion. Is that exactly the same type of onion? That is a super tasty food item. Spring onions, anyhow, I'm sure of that name. Vivek says, BBC Stick, what is your source of information regarding Indian news? BBC Stick says, he or she thinks our governments have wrong priorities, only war, but no advancements in the medical department. Um, uh, I think you're 50% right, BBC. Some governments now have become very advanced in medical department. Many Westerners many many other foreigners are coming in their thousands every year to India to take advantage of the Indian medical facilities, which are quite good, sometimes very advanced, and for much less cost. Thanks, Nightingale. Shallots of spring onions. Oh, mostly I think I love the spring onions cooked in a fried rice. That's right, Anita. Anita, excuse me if you don't speak Kumani language, you other people. Anita, tumor Kumani naam ke chu, spring onion ke liye, tumor Kumani Pahadi naam ke chu. BBC says he doesn't read the Indian news. Oh, so then where do you get your information about India from? That's what Vivek's asking you, BBC. Oh, yes, Anita. Another question also after this one. That's right, it is. It's young onion plant. That's right, that's right. Oh, I love it in fried rice. Oh, once you've had spring onion shallots in fried rice, you always wanted it in fried rice. Akan Gaming, Akshat, Namaste, Akshat. And Vivek, Akan Gaming's actual name is Akshat. I'm okay, Akan, but Akan, the whole of Nepal and outside of Nepal is crying terribly today about the terrible, horrific accident, the flash floods. Thanks, Anita. Oh, of course, spring onion is called hari pyaj, green onion, that's right. Now, Anita, this may get some interest from other people. Please help me, Anita Ju. Make muni madati ope, huh? Please help me on this, yeah? Dun, dun damar, dun damar, a type of garlic, a wild garlic, green colour, with an intense, deep taste, comes around about springtime going into summertime. Dun damar kumaunima, wild garlic. What an incredible deep taste that is. Can you confirm that name? And what do you call that in Hindi, Anita, if they have a Hindi name for it? Yes, I can. Very sad. Ah, thanks, Vivek. You got his name now. That's good. And Vivek says you. Yeah, spring onion. That's right. Hari pyaj. In fried rice, I'll say it again. Ah, even a small amount, cut up into small pieces. They can crush it quickly before cooking it. Akshat's replying to Vivek. Bye. Good, good, good. Yes, Anita, we call in Korsani and Bageshwar Dhundhamar, a wild garlic. Now, what do you other people know? This is one of my most favourite taste enhancers, wild garlic. Not the normal garlic, the common garlic, but a sort of a wild garlic in the Himalayas. I think it comes around springtime going into summertime. Uh, it can grow in your garden, it can grow wildly also. I don't know the Hindi name, but in Kumaon, in the Indian Himalayas, called commonly Dhunmar. Wow. Ah, BBC, you had to go and feed your dog. That's nice. Fine. What's the name of your dog, BBC? Akshat, what about garlic bread? One of the most delicious breads. Again, you know, Mera Purana Dushman, hey, Mera Purana Dushman, hey, Maida, uh, Satan ki Ata, hey, Satan ki Ata, Maida, Mera Paitama, Satan ki Ata, hey. Refined wheat flour is the flour of the devil. Yeah, I know I'm using strong language, but this is how I talk sometimes, you know. Um, Garlic bread in Maida, refined wheat flour, Maida is a waste of garlic. But when garlic's prepared with real bread, Akshat, like real brown bread, which is heavier in the stomach, sabud atta wala. Oh. Yes, Akshat, Akan says Maida is an enemy. Yes. I see BBC, your dog's name is Boxer, that's nice. Anita, small onion, only used in Kumaon, I see. This Dhundamar mountain wild garlic is only found in the mountains, I see. Akshat, Vivek, BBC stick from Vietnam. Do you have a wild garlic which has a deep, intense taste? It comes around maybe springtime going into summertime one time a year. It can grow anywhere in your garden also. A wild garlic, what a tasty garlic that is. Now, on this subject of like a wild garlic type of taste, I'll tell you another in 5 minutes. I'll tell you another herb, another taste enhancer when I remember the English name, okay? If you know that one. I'll tell you when the English name comes into my mind. This one is used very widely in South Asia. I didn't see it much in the Himalayas. BBC, most of our viewers here are from India. Most of our viewers here are from India, northern India, and elsewhere in India, but especially northern India, and half of them are from there also. BBC. I've lived stick. I've lived half of my life in the Indian and Nepali Himalayas. Currently, I'm living in central Nepal. Puran, the name is uh, Puran. This Dhundamar, I have seen it spelled Dhun. Damar is correct in your spelling. Dhun, Dhun, Damar. I just never heard the Hindi name. As we're saying here, Anita says that it's basically only a Pahadi plant. Intensely deep garlic. I feel, Puran, because you're Pahari, right, from Uttarakhand, I feel that you have eaten it and you know it, but you may know under another name. I'm stretching my memory. That's it. Dhundamar. It can grow in your garden. You may have the seeds. It can grow outside wild. A deep, intense garlic taste in food is amazing. Vivek, have you eaten, David, have you eaten garlic guava chutney? No, not with guava. I, guava is one of the few foods that I don't like. I don't like guava, and I don't like lady's finger, and I hate maida. These are the three things I just try not to eat, you know? I think you've eaten this dundamar, but you just don't recognize my description of it, you know? BBC stick? Yeah, we sometimes get people from Pakistan. Why not? Why not? Um, Previously on this live stream, we had a good number of Pakistani people, but they don't come so much now. Last night, I believe one Pakistani friend uh, came back after a long time. The name was Farhan Bag. Farhan Bag. Now, BBC, please help me with some information on this one. I know that in the West and especially in Southeast Asia, we're talking in English, right? Galangal is a super tasty green plant. It looks like a spring onion, shallot. BBC, please describe to us. I know all through Southeast Asia, you people love eating galangal cooked into hot food or a salad. Am I right? Galangal. Now, you viewers, I never had galangal here in India or surely it's not used. Galangal. Maybe have a look on Google, check out the Hindi name. I believe in Hindi or Sanskrit, galangal. It looks like spring onion, if I remember. Galangal. Galangal. And from my memory, you may find it's called in Sanskrit or Hindi Kulanjan. Kulanjan. And in various languages in India, the name is similar. What do you people know about that in English? Galangal. Galangal. Cooked in salads? Wow. I'm talking about the mountain Dundamara wild garlic. Well, I sort of compare this wild garlic from the mountains, Dundamar, with galangal. A deep, intense taste. Have a look on Google if you can. I can't do that at the moment. Akand Akshat says you also like red chutney of red chili and garlic and ghee. I'm sure that's good. The ghee would cool off some of the heat, wouldn't it, in the mouth? There's a local round red chili here, a round one. It looks like a tiny little shimla mirch, capsicum. Very tasty, just a small amount, very strong, very tasty. And this type in this area in central Nepal, this type of small red chili looks like a small capsicum. It also has a sweet taste. You Asian people know very well what I mean. When you get a very tasty chili, strong, you can control how much you eat. Very strong chili, which at the same time has an intense sweet taste. Wow, I had that today. Puran, I'll say again, Dhundamar. I've heard it around Kumaon. Dhun, new word, Dhamar, Damar, Dhundamar. That's the common name I hear, and only I hear that name, no other name, you know. Now, Puran, Anita from Eastern Kumaon is Dhungdawar, okay? Dhungdawar. Now, Akand, please tell me what you know about Galangal. Akand, Akshat, please tell me everything you know. This is something of a mystery plant. What a lovely deep taste it is also. Not Dundamar, another plant. I believe it's a different plant. In Sanskrit or Hindi, Kulanjan. What do you know, Akshat? Tell me now, please. Akshat says, well, I still have sugar, a small amount every day. I like sugar or jaggery straight after my main meal, Akshat. In the past, I used to enjoy Pahari Balmi Thai. Looks like a chocolate with white balls on it. Famous especially in Almora district, Uttarakhand. Vivek, Arahar dal ki sambarai. I eat Arahar ki dal. I've been eating arahar ki dal since I was a little boy. I still eat it like a little boy. Um, I see. Where are my glasses? Where are my glasses? Oh, I think who knows? This is Himanshu. Hi, Himanshu. Namaste. You can call me whatever you like. You can call me whatever you like, but don't call me too late for meal times. You can call me whatever you like, but never call me late for dinner. Aap mujhe jo chahen kaha sakte hai. Thanks, Akshat. Yeah, have a search for it. I can't search at the moment. I may lose this live stream if I start playing around with the screen, you know? Galangal. In Sanskrit or Hindi, Kulanjan, and a couple of other regional languages in your India have similar names. Hi, Himanshu. Thanks for coming back, Himanshu. I'm not bad, Himanshu. Every Nepali person visiting, living in Nepal from outside, and some people around the world are very, very much affected by the terrible flash floods tragedy at the feet of the Himalayas, Himanshu. Now, Akand, you may be on the right track here. If you say it's from Thailand, Thailand is one of the major countries where they use galangal. If it says Thai ginger, that may well be right. Thai ginger. That's interesting. They could call it We could also call it Thai ginger. The Thailand connection, no doubt about that. Terrible, terrible footage on it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Himanshu. The current reason seems to be that in that exact area at the same time, there was a relatively small earthquake, just 2.5 on the Richter scale, but it was enough to dislodge, to move a big glacier, Himalayan glacier, into a lake below it. And this pushed an enormous amount of water downstream. This gulung gulakshut is one of the world's greatest foods as a taste enhancer. I think you can use it as a salad or more commonly cooked into hot food, you know. That's right, Vivek. Generally, you're right, Vivek. Food in the West and Russia land, I use a lot of spices and. That's right. One thing is for sure, was proved during COVID that many spices are antioxidants, aren't they? They're full of antioxidants and especially they're immunity boosters, Vivek. Immunity boosters. I can't eat bland food. I just can't eat it. I can't eat it. But I like the level of spices and chili in the food, medium, so you can still taste the original taste of that food item, right? Many people have lost their lives. I think there will be the total of several thousand, Himanshu. Terrible, sudden tragedy. Vivek, Donald Dump Donald Trump donated a huge sum of money to Nepal. That is $500,000. Well, that will go very quickly. That will go in a couple of days. Here or there, here or there. That will be used up in a couple of days, Vivek. If he's donated a huge sum of money, that is a huge mistake. A huge mistake as a donation. It would be better to donate rescue machinery or physical items, not money, not money. Vivek says Nepal is surprised how to manage that large sum of money. Um, Donald Dump's probably doing that to enhance his own name more than anything. We know the true nature of Donald Trump. Always as a donation for any reason, it's better. The last thing you want to donate is money. Everybody knows why. Better to donate medicines, machinery, foodstuffs. Money, no, no, no. Vivek says, oh, it's from the US government, not from Mr. Dump personally. I see. Archon Gaming, Akshat says, which PM or president ideology do you like the most, David? Socialism. Which one leader do you think was good or bad? Look, one could mention many, many names. One could mention many names of leaders. Many names, good and bad. But I won't do that, Akshat. I think the best leaders are those who, number one, their focus is the common person in their country. There are two types of politicians, okay? One who focuses mostly or completely on their own common citizens, benefits and welfare. The other type of politician spends all their time only on their own personal development, the development of the politician's life and the politician's friends and relatives. I won't say too much tonight, greedy, corrupt pigs. I won't say it much again tonight, greedy, corrupt pigs. No, I won't use that expression too much again tonight, okay? I've used it hundreds of times on this live stream. That's it basically, Akshat. Two types of politicians. One who focuses all their time and energy onto the welfare of their citizens and their country and development, and who tries to clean up greedy pig corruption. And directly related item, tries to improve the education system, cleans up the education system, improves the quality of teachers, improves the quality of supervision of exams. Ooh, ooh, ooh. The other type of politician, Akshat, they are called greedy, corrupt pigs. In short language, GCP. Yep, greedy, corrupt pigs. Himanshu, you can read Himanshu's message. Our best leader is JD. You can read Himanshu's full message. And Himanshu says in Hindi, you can call me whatever you like. That's his latest YouTube ID. Himanshu says, our best leader is Mr. JC. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Puran, India, regarding this terrible Nepali tragedy, India has sent about 48 tons of humanitarian medical assistance in 2 assignments. Physical goods, not money, not money, not money. Never ever send money as a donation for anybody, or very rarely send it. We know why. I was just talking about greedy pig corruption just 3 minutes ago. Those subjects go hand in hand. Himanshu, about 3,800 at the moment. 3,800, yeah. I hope to reach 4,000 within 2 weeks. The main benefit for me, Himanshu, will be satisfaction and relief after 10 or 11 months. After 10 months it will be. That's right, Puran. Send medicines, temporary shelters, blankets, hygiene kits, solar lamps, but not money. Medicines, food packets, HADR material. What's HADR? Vivek, now read Vivek's message. $40 trillion. What's 1 trillion, Vivek? I'm not sure. How much is 1 trillion? Is 1 trillion 1,000 billion? Is 1 trillion equal to 1,000 billion? I'm not sure. No production except weapons. Donald Dump is a maniac. Donald Dump is a maniac. Game On. Hi, Game On. Nice to see you after such a long time. Thanks, Game On. Thanks for coming back. I'm in a different residence now. I'm still here since 7 weeks. I'm still here in Nepal since nearly 2 months, Dharman, central Nepal. But I'm living now more comfortably in the Dharman View Tower. How are you, Game On? Thanks for coming again. Very nice. Thanks, Himanshu. Yeah, we'll reach 4,000, no problem. I see Puran from the Uttarakhandi Himalayas in India. HADR, Humanitarian Assistance and Disaster Relief Material. Yes, not money. Money, cash, money transfers to governments, to NGOs are the very, very last way to help out in a disaster. Sending money in a disaster area to governments, to politicians, to NGOs. No, no, no. Never send money to government managers and NGOs. Send physical goods. Hi, BBC. Sorry you grabbed something to eat. You're back now. That's nice. Thank you. BBC, do you use galangal in Vietnam? Is it the same thing as Thailand ginger? Is it the same thing? And what do you call galangal in your Vietnamese language? Would you let me know? Okay, thanks, Himanshu, for coming. I see you're busy. Hasta la vista, senor. Hasta la vista. See you next time. See you next time. Thanks for coming, Himanshu. Well, gajab ho gaya yaar. Ah. BBC Stick. BBC Stick for the second time tonight. Stick for the second time tonight. Same very, very strange message. I can't repeat you. Look, it's the last message on your screen. For the second time, BBC Stick, who says they come from Vietnam, has sent an extremely strange and distasteful message about the terrible disaster in Nepal. Um, BBC Stick, are you back again with us since about a week under another YouTube ID? This is an extremely distasteful message you've sent for the second time tonight, BBC, apparently from Vietnam, about the Nepali disaster. Extremely distasteful. Um, I don't know where you're coming from in your mind to send such a message, BBC Stick. Can you explain yourself clearly in clear language? Explain yourself. Oh, तेरा बाप का नाम क्या है यार? तेरा बाप. BBC, excuse me if I have made a mistake here, but I know I understand what you're saying. A rival country, obviously Tibet/China, causing this um, um, terrible tragedy. I don't think that, even though some of humanity have definite devilish satanic qualities, I don't think that this would happen. I don't think this would happen. The only thing I can think of is that, is there a possibility that on the Tibet China side at the time, is there a possibility that the government on the Chinese side was doing some sort of developmental blasting roads, or making another one of their dams or something, and that this caused the tragedy. But I don't think a rival country would do something inhumane like this. I think it may have been if it possible, like I said, that Tibet, China in that area was doing some developmental work, blasting a new road, building a new dam. They love to build new dams, don't they? Why not? They've got one of the world's most incredibly rich. That's one of the main reasons why the Chinese army went into Tibet decades ago, because of the huge Himalayan pure water resources for their huge population. It's one of the main reasons why China went into Tibet many decades ago, and also to exploit the Tibetan mineral resources, I don't think it'd be intentional, BBC. I don't think so. And I'm sorry if I reacted too strongly to you, BBC, or disrespectfully. That wasn't my intention. I just felt that the language you used was ironic. The language that you used, do you think that the Nepali flash floods was an inside job? I just felt the language you used was a little rather ironic, strange, yeah. Just time. That's interesting, uh, BBC Stick. If that's true what you say, your grandchildren encouraged you to come onto YouTube. That's nice. Hi, Sweden's Upreti, Niraj Upreti, from my old home, the Uttarakhandi Himalayas in northern India. Thanks for coming back after some time. Um, no, BBC, English isn't your first language. You're doing very, very well. Your English is on very high level. It's on a very high level, really. Sweden's all pretty. Hi there, you're back in Europe, are you? Um, yes, you've been quite busy. Live streaming timing doesn't match every day. No, well, you're probably here going from. Somebody asked me before, we'll be going again till 9 p.m. tonight. 9 p.m. I think you're also in the Himalayas or northern India. Yeah, 6 to 9, 6 nights a week, Niraj. Currently Tuesday nights off. Raj, you've definitely heard of the. We must remember the victims and injured people in this horrific tragedy here in Nepal, Niraj. Our whole country's in a state of shock. Hi Deepak Khatayak, Namaste Deepak, Namaste aap kaise ho? मैं उस जुल्म से मेरा निवास मध्य नेपाल में 200 या 300 किलोमीटर दूर है दूर. Thanks for coming back, Niraj. Nice to see you again. How's that going over there? Is it the tail end of summertime in Sweden, is it? Although we have climate change, of course. I see, Niraj, in Sweden. You've got some Nepali friends here. I bet they're in shock. I mean, it was just horrific, Niraj. The footage on TV and social media. I mean, just big houses and buildings, buses and trucks and people getting swept away just like cardboard boxes, you know? What power. That's right, Deepak, especially these days. Settlements near riverbanks are always high danger, aren't they? Vivek says monetary help assists the local governments to buy things as per their requirements and local needs. There's some truth in that, of course, Vivek, but knowing the history and corrupt nature of some money fund managers in donation situations, this has been proved for thousands of years now. Some humans are pig greedy corrupt. Some humans who manage funds are pig greedy corrupt. They can't stop themselves. They cannot stop themselves. And it would be far better first to find out, hello on WhatsApp, Vivek, what do you need physical requirements in your area there? What physical items do you need? We will send those to you. We won't send money. That's the only way. Yes, Upreti, I was thinking that summer's finished around where you live there in Malmo, is it? Got a big, nice soccer team, I think. 17 to 18 C. Yes. BBC Dickens asking, David, have you ever been to the place where the floods happened? No, no. I've looked onto that area of the Himalayas from a high hill many times, but never visited there actually, no. Oh, Deepak, there are various reasons why people choose to live along riverbanks. Number one, for possible regular, possibly permanent water source for everyday needs. Number two, a possible regular permanent water source to irrigate their crops, to put food into their stomachs. Number three, it may well be their place of birth, their place of origin. It's the only land they've got. You have to look at all these reasons why many people can't move, perhaps can never move from that place alongside the river, although the dangers are always potential. Not able to move. Some people are able to move and they do. Oh, BBC, nobody knows how many died. My estimate is there'll be, especially also on the Tibetan China side and the Indian and on the Nepali side, minimum of several thousand, guaranteed. Deepak says, and an ice glacier is holding a lake and nobody cares about it. Amazing. Ooh, what do people think about Deepak's message there? And an ice in this disaster subject, an ice glacier is holding a lake and nobody cares about it. How amazing. You mean neglect against the potential danger. What do people think about Deepak's message there? Vivek says, David, do you know about PPP, purchasing parity power? Very important. No, I don't. What does that mean, Vivek? Deepak, as I understand, it was a complicated situation, but Deepak, as I understand, in short, immediately before this terrible tragedy, there was a localized, relatively small earthquake, only 2.5 on the Richter scale. And that immediately dislodged a huge amount, a part of a glacier in the high Himalayas. And a lot of part of that glacier, because of the tremors of the earthquake, fell into the lake below and pushed an enormous amount of water downstream. Huojosh. Now this looks like a familiar. This looks like a familiar type of YouTube ID, a new type of YouTube ID. Huojsh. Huoj. Thanks for coming, Huoj, for the first time to our live stream. Huoj, if you look at the pinned message at the bottom of your screen, you'll see my background. Anglo-Australian. Anglo means England. Born in England, lived in Australia. And Huoj, interesting YouTube ID, that one. Um, Coming and going as a traveller, Huoj. From Sydney, I've lived in the Himalayas, especially Nepal and especially India, half of my lifetime. So my YouTube ID name is Pahadi David, Mountain David. A BBC, what do you mean? What do you mean, BBC? Why you think it was too low to be so effective? Doesn't make sense in my opinion. I don't quite get your meaning there, BBC. Can you rephrase that? I see, Deepak. Well, this is a new development to me. The glacier was holding up the lake. I see. Well, very difficult. What would you do? What would you have done before the catastrophe to stop this tragedy? What would you have done? You have done. Huoja? No, I don't have any immediate family. All my immediately family members have left the planet, Huoj. But I have many Nepali and Indian close friends who you can call my mountain family. No family of my own. I never got married. I never got married in this lifetime. The world's population is really huge now, isn't it? Oof. That's right, BBC Stick. Oh, I get it. I get it. I get your message. I get your message. Oh, look, even a small amount of tremor, in my opinion, just a small amount of tremor, even 2.5 on the Richter scale, obviously was enough. Obviously was enough to dislodge that, to cause that disaster. Obviously, it was enough. I see, Huoj. You would have alerted all the authorities immediately. Yeah, that's very, very sensible. Very, very sensible. Um, in a perfect world, in a perfect world, Deepak, everybody, hundreds of thousands of people downstream and locally would have been alerted very, very seriously. They would have been told to leave the area immediately until the disaster happens, out of danger, leave their homes, leave their properties, leave their crops, source of food, leave their homes. Nabin Kumar, hi Nabin. Namaste Nabin. Huoj is saying you would have alerted all the authorities. Of course, very sensible. To see your name, Naveen. Is it your first time on our live stream? Thanks for coming, Naveen Kumar. Aap kaise ho? Aap bhi kahan ho? Aapka atta patta kahan ho? Naveen, just read the pin message. Pin message at the bottom of your screen. You can see I was born in England, Naveen. Lived in Australia a long time. And Naveen, I call myself Pahadi David, Mountain David, because coming and going as a traveller, I've lived in the Himalayas, Nepal and India. I've lived in the Himalayas half of my lifetime in total. So I call myself Mountain David. Vivek Deshwal is asking an interesting question here. Vivek's asking a very interesting question to BBC Stick in Vietnam. BBC, in your opinion, who will benefit from this flash flood tragedy? Who will benefit from it? Well, you can see BBC Stick's reply there. Everybody can see BBC Stick's reply. Huoj. Huoj says, you needed to have sensors near the water source. This could have been prevented easily. They just have very bad infrastructure and aren't first world country. Um, we can discuss why and where and when and why not was it prevented, but they have a tremendously complicated situation to confront now. Immediately, to search for people who are still alive. Hmm? Extremely complicated situation. These things at the moment are important, much more important than why did it happen, not prevented. Vivek says, clarify your thoughts, BBC. Don't be afraid. Well, look, I won't read BBC Sticks messages. I won't read BBC Sticks messages. You can read them. First message starts with this could be who, etc. And BBC's second message is New World, where they want to read those. What do you think about those messages? Can you accept those very controversial messages? Deepak says it's common sense. You would have marked it as a nature time bomb. Huoj says, yes, you agree with Deepak, but unfortunately not everybody has common sense. Look, I'll just say again, repeat very briefly. You would have been asking hundreds of thousands of people to leave their only homes where they live, although alongside the river. Ask hundreds of thousands of people to leave their homes immediately, to move to safer places, to leave their homes unguarded, all their possessions, to leave their land and their crops, their food sources. Quite probably places where they've owned that land since they were born. All right then. This Nepali tragedy is raising a lot of questions, a lot of comments, and the central subject is, could that have been prevented? Huoj PP says, yes, David, but this is something you must plan for, to try to prevent disasters, yes. Do you think this would have happened in Europe? Be honest. All right, let me think about that. That's a very interesting question, Huoj. Let me. Oh, let me think about that. I'm resting my eyes from the screen, okay? Just resting my eyes from the screen for 5 minutes. Well, Huoj, this may well happen in the Europe. What are the main mountains in Europe, in Central Europe? The Alps, right? In France, Switzerland, and southern Germany, right? The Alps. Have there been similar but smaller incidents in the Alps mountains in Europe in the past where, for this or that reason, a glacier has slipped into a high mountain lake and caused at least a local catastrophe? Has that happened? As we know, the other big, equally big mountains are in the east of Europe, in the Caucasus, northwestern Asia, right? Have catastrophes happened there? I don't know. I mean, anywhere, and of course in South America, in the high Andes Mountains. Um, One thing's for sure, Huosh, that in the richer, in the richer Western countries, we have more resources, and usually in our richer Western countries, let's be honest, all right, in the Western countries, usually we have better education systems all round, where people are better educated. Also, a factor here is that in Western countries, we have usually a lesser level of exam cheating, fraud in exams, fraud in getting degrees. So, the overall education system and awareness and infrastructure resources and money are higher in the so called developed countries, right? So, probably we would be able to avoid these things. Potential dangers would be recognized before the catastrophe, hopefully, yes. Um, Also, in Western countries, regarding preventing a disaster by moving hundreds of thousands of people away from their homes, in the West generally, we would be able to leave our homes for some time and settle elsewhere, compared with people in third world countries, right? So-called third world countries. That's my answer to that. Not just European standards, Huosh, but you mean automatically also North American standards, Australian, New Zealand standards, Western standards, to use a loose term. Western doesn't just mean in the West, it means so-called, and it's partly true, first world countries, yeah. That's right, Huosh. Huosh. Can I just call you Huo? Yeah, you're sending some very interesting messages here. Yeah. Puran Bisht from my oldest residence in the Himalayas, the area of Uttarakhand in northern India, west of the West Nepal border. Puran says he's been living and born and brought up in the Himalayas and have explored many remote villages, Himalayan mountains, and trekking routes. Yes. Deepak says quite correctly, David always grumbles and complains about exam cheating. Look, Deepak, I know. I did a few years here in the Himalayas. I worked for a few years as a voluntary English teacher, and I can tell you a huge cancer on societies where exam cheating is endemic and widespread. Exam cheating is a huge cancer on developing countries. Exam cheating, when it's widespread and endemic and accepted, is a huge, dangerous, devilish, satanic cancer on cultures, especially when those decent cultures are still developing. It is a huge cancer. I can't. This is why, Deepak, many people say, West and outside the Western cultures, improve the education system, remove the filthy, corrupt cancer of endemic, widespread exam cheating. Because a degree should always be an original degree, not a cheating degree. How do you like that answer, Deepak? I really can't say any more on it, but if you want me to, I will. Mm. Vivek is responding very immediately with, David, if you think Westerners are so intelligent, I didn't say that Westerners are so intelligent, as some certainly aren't. Look at Donald Trump. Look at Netanyahu.com. Look at Netanyahu.com in Israel, which is, you may well say, a westernized country, isn't it? Um, Look, Vivek, if life was so simple, it would be so beautiful. If life was so simple and so black and white, so clear cut, that you could say, why are Western cultures intelligently fighting wars so much? It's not so simple as that, Vivek. It's far from simple. Wars are always caused by much deeper, more essential reasons. Wanting to control resources, oil. Wars are fought because the barbarians are always active around the world. The barbarians who want to disturb because their own cultures are weak and corrupt and backward. That's another reason, etc., etc. Vivek, mothers of corruption since ancient times, correcting. Vivek, there's some truth in what you say. There's some truth in what you say, Vivek, about Westerners being the fathers and mothers of corruption. Fathers and inventors of corruption in the West. Don't forget in the East and the South and the North, the mothers and fathers of corruption in Eastern cultures. Don't forget about them since ancient times. Look, Vivek, I'll be the first to admit that the East India Company, which was a totally devilish, satanic, pig, corrupt, greedy organization, the East India Company bribed many local rulers to start to do their trading activity domination around India, and that's just India. I'll be the first to admit that that was their method. Um, Corruption has always been a universal thing. Corruption's always been a universal thing, Vivek. Always universal. Um, this conversation could go on and on. BBC stick. Vivek says Western countries are much less corrupt than non-Western countries. Huoj says India is very corrupt. India is very corrupt, says Huoj. You can't live the American dream like in Western countries, the Western countries where you can get rich from being. Wow. Well said. Deepak says the British also faced great losses in World War II. Is that right, David? I do believe so. And don't forget, some Asian countries also lost hundreds of thousands of fighters also. Vivek still maintaining his stance on corruption in the West says. Vivek says, BBC, do you know the corruption of food corporates makes the West to shift to Southeast Asia? I wouldn't be surprised. Vivek says, Huosh, don't worry about me. You enjoy your coffee. Ha ha. So here we are again complaining and expressing about things which we have 0% of power to. The average citizen like you and me, we have 0%, almost 0% power to control these things. Um, Maybe we should stop complaining about these things. And wherever we're lived, as an individual vote going citizen, try to clean up our own local areas. Hey, try to clean up our own local areas from the grassroots. Oh, now Huoch is starting to get a little bit personal with you, Vivek. Is that Huoch? This is a familiar trend, isn't it? When, oh, it's a common in universal live streaming, when we feel that we have been, our own views of the world, our own values have been disturbed by the other person. Vivek, you have seen that Huosh is saying, I'm drinking tea, Vivek, but you can enjoy your street food. Now that's an interesting comment from Huosh there. Vivek, you enjoy your street food. You're only able to eat on the street. Eh? Let's see where this dialogue goes to. Don't leave anybody. BBC again insists that in general, Western countries are still less corrupt than outside of the West. And this, of course, generally is true. Hi, CJ. How are you? You've just come at an interesting time in this live stream. It's nearly 9 o'clock here. Vivek has not taken the bait from Huosh. Huosh says to Vivek, you enjoy your street food. We know what that means. But don't go anywhere, Huosh. Stay here, please. Let's see where this dialogue goes to. And people who stay on this live stream help it develop. They do. And I'm not in it for the money. I just enjoy live streaming. I don't need the money. And what money will I get from this? Just a few peanuts. Yeah. Now, Vivek has not taken Huosh's bait when Huosh says, you enjoy your street food. Vivek says, Huosh, do you know that the Westerners need the intellectual Indian mind to help their country develop? Because the Western brain and economy will fail without outside help. Well said, Vivek, and there's some truth in that. Deepak says, even the Russians are taking on Indians to fight against Ukraine, just like the British did in World War II. I'm sure a good number of those Indians, if they are fighting for Russia, are doing it purely for economic reasons, to survive with their families. Vivek says to Huoch, why do Westerners eat street food when they come to India? Why don't they eat in good restaurants? Oh, so Vivek, do you mean that all Westerners coming to India eat street food, do you? Huosh says, Huosh does agree that India does have very high level, good mathematically minded people, yes. Vivek says, Huosh, you visit a good restaurant, spend money and enjoy good food. That's good. We're not getting into the insult area so far. We've avoided the insult area. That's excellent. From personal experience, I have eaten some very tasty. I have sometimes eaten some very tasty and hygienic food on the streets in very nazdik.